For the second semester, we have clinical parasitology, clinical bacteriology, human histology, panitikan, readings in the Philippine history, art appreciation, life works and writings of Rizal, entrepreneurship, and again, PE. And for the summer, we have mycology and virology, molecular biology and diagnostics, histopathology, histopathologic technique, and cytologic techniques. Okay, for the subjects that requires laboratory skills and our schedules, we have a biochemistry for med lab science. Okay, we have clinical parasitology and clinical bacteriology. Okay. For the level 2 skills lab, okay, so we have a laboratory schedule. Okay, we have health information for med lab science. No? So we all know that we have already encountered this course or subject during the summer of 2019-2020. Okay, so we have health information for med lab science. For the first semester, you have biochemistry for med lab science. And today, or this semester, you have clinical parasitology and clinical bacteriology. Okay, so these are the subjects that we will going to have a scheduled for laboratory face-to-face or return demonstration. Okay.
Gamitin ako.
Okay, thank you for laying that down, Mr. Juanita. Now to proceed with the main or the focal point of this consultative meeting, to present us with the limited face-to-face skills and laboratory or clinical internship schedule. May I call on Ms. Sir Brian Juanita. Okay, to continue, okay, we have the limited face-to-face laboratory and clinical internship schedule. So this was proposed a schedule of our department head to the BOT for our scheduled face-to-face return demonstration and laboratory session. Okay, to have for our next. Okay, so for the summer of 2019-2020, okay, so I know that again that you have already accomplished this course or this subject, no? So we have MLS 131. Okay, this is health information system for med lab science. Okay, so I know that you have already I know that you have already the grades for this course, no? But we still need to we still need to comply or to finish along with its laboratory skills or setup. Okay, so if you notice, the date is May 23 and June to June 3, 2022. Okay, because we are prioritizing yung mga incoming interns natin. Okay, yung mga third year. So for your scheduled demonstration and laboratory session, you are scheduled May 23 to June 3, 2022. Okay? For your subjects, for your subjects during the first semester, 2020-2021, we have a biochemistry 102. So this is biochemistry for med lab science. Okay, and you will also have the scheduled return demonstration and laboratory session May 23 June to June 3, 2022. Okay. And for the second semester, okay, you have subjects of MLS 221 and MLS 222. So these are clinical parasitology and clinical bacteriology. So these are the subjects that you are undergoing today or this semester, no? But unfortunately, yung schedule natin for laboratory session, you are scheduled May 23 to June 3, 2022. Okay? So, I know no na medyo matagal siya. Okay? Kasi nga, again, we are prioritizing yung mga subjects of our incoming interns. Okay? So, let's assured no na we will going still to comply yung ating mga required skills during this scheduled session. So, ano ba itong scheduled session na ito? So, we are going to have a one-on-one mentorship or mentoring na tinatawag namin. Okay, you are going to present yung procedure and the techniques, okay, during the online class. But when we have our face-to-face schedule, you are going to demonstrate and we are going to assess you during the demonstration. Okay, kung if you are really equipped, okay, to move on to our next na subjects, no? Okay, kasi nga 'di ba during third year, most of our subjects are board subjects. So ito muna yung nauna na board subjects niya, yung clinical parasitology and clinical bacteriology. Okay, so meron tayo pa siyang leveling, no? So before you move on to your next course or next level during the third year, i-assess muna namin kayo if you are ready or equipped with the necessary skills na needed for those subjects. Okay?
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Juanitas. Now, to proceed with, again, the main focus or the focal point of our consultative meeting, may I call on the Department of Medical Technologies, Ms. Yasmin Odalig, to present us with the CHED DOH Joint Memorandum Task number or circular series of 2021 to 001.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, parents. Sorry to keep you waiting, no, because we had we extended our time with our level 3 parents because they have so much concerns. Because the level 3 students or their children are already, expected to be adjust MSFI and in their respective hospital assignments come May 2021. But if you notice, Mr. Brian made mention a while ago that your children are still scheduled to attend the limited face-to-face classes next year or May 2022. For the reason that we are to gradually reopen our classroom for limited face-to-face classes as stipulated in this CHED-OH JMC or the Joint Memorandum Circular number 2021-01. So again, our children are set or scheduled, okay, to attend their limited face-to-face classes come May 2022, right? And it is also stipulated because of course, of the reasons based on the stipulations of this CHED DOH JMC number 2021-001 that only level 3 and level 4 students are allowed to attend this limited face-to-face classes. So level 1 and level 2 students are still in the flexible mode of learning as stipulated in this circular. Okay? So if you are questioning why we aren't, or our children are not yet sent in adjust MSFI to attend the limited face-to-face classes when we are already opening this to our level students, it is because for this rationale as stipulated in this circular memo. So again, I am tasked to orient you with the circular memo. So you are guided and we are informed on how this or how the limited face-to-face class come May 2022 will be conducted. right? So whatever apprehensions, whatever questions or queries at the back of your mind right now, you can. I hope this will be answered by this memorandum circular number 2020-001. So again, this is a joint memorandum circular because the SHED is in no way capable of producing or drafting, okay, and sent it for circulation a guideline on higher education institutions without consultations with or without partnerships and consultation with the Department of Health because this circular memo is specifically pertaining to the gradual reopening of the limited face-to-face classes while there is a pandemic. So this is how the circular memo looks like in actual. So this is the cover page of the 75-80 pages of circular memo from SHED in partnership with Department of Health. So again, this is guidelines on the gradual reopening of campuses of higher education institution for the limited face-to-face classes during the COVID-19 pandemic. So if you notice, I highlighted the gradual reopening here, no, in the section, okay? Because this is not applicable. Of course, it is for the fact that it is not applicable for everyone. And it's a gradual reopening because only some of the students or for only some students, we only apply this or we do apply this guidelines set here by SHED. And I also highlighted the limited face-to-face classes because for a fact, for the reason that this is not the normal or the classroom that we are or the classroom that we are so familiar with. Okay, so this is not the usual classroom of 50 students that we are so used to while we are in grade school, high school, and college. So this is a limited face-to-face class, and we are following the guidelines set by the circular memo. So the limited face-to-face class would actually entail all higher education institution to retrofit their classroom. So retrofitting meaning they have to abide with the stipulations of this circular memo and try tailor fitting it or retrofitting it with the guidelines stated here. So if our classrooms or if the classroom such as the MSFI can accommodate 50 students in one sitting, so we are to retrofit it to accommodate 20 students na lang po. But if you are to notice that our laboratory, which used to sit or which used to accommodate 25 students, we are opening our laboratory for one-on-one demonstration with our students. Alright, so for level 3 students which are to conduct their limited face-to-face class this May 2021, we are gonna conduct it in a one-on-one basis. But for level 2 students, for your children who are our incoming level 3 students and who are the next batch of students who will have their limited face-to-face class on May 2022, we will retrofit our laboratory and accommodate up to for only 4 to 6 students. So for every laboratory class, we are gonna accommodate a maximum of 6 students. So as to meet the minimum, the minimum required of us by the Department of Health for a social distancing of 1.5 meter distance away from your seatmate. Okay, so we are to follow that. Okay, so these are the 6, These are the 6 disciplines. These are the 6 priority programs that is covered by our joint memorandum circular. So medicine, nursing, MLS or the medical technology, physical therapy, midwifery, and public health. So only these 6 disciplines or only these 6 courses are the only ones authorized by CHED to conduct limited face-to-face classes. Among all the courses, the different courses in the universities and colleges all over Philippines, only these 6 courses are allowed to conduct the limited face-to-face classes. So if you are wondering right now, no, or if you might be wondering why are we having this kind of orientation, is because our course is included in the priority programs set by this new circular coming from CHED and DOH. Right? So this is this circular memo would actually provide assurance, security, right? Provide assurance and security for parents who are sending their children to the limited face-to-face classes. Because this 80-page memorandum circular contains all the guidelines that the HEIs will be doing, no, or will be retrofitting or will be tailor-fitting based on, or that will, of course, beneficial to our students in this time of pandemic. So we have here increasing physical and mental resilience, right? So this increasing physical and mental resilience is, of course, a program that will be given to our students or to your children that will increase their resilience in this time of pandemic. So they will be given trainings, certificates, webinars, or completion training on how they are to increase or on with the goal of increasing their physical and mental resilience. Resilience meaning katatagan, no? Papalakasin natin, no? Papalakasin natin physically and mentally yung ating ang resilience ng ating mga anak. So as to meet the DOH health or the minimum health standards of DOH, and also for our students or your children to benefit or to combat, no, whatever risks, okay, or whatever physical or mental issues that will concern them regarding their conduct or their going in the limited face-to-face classes. So number 2 is reduced transmission. So this is one of the set standards given by the DOH for HEI. So we are to formulate guidelines, and yes, we are on our 95% completion of these guidelines set by the CHED and DOH regarding how we are to reduce transmission of COVID-19 in cases that we are to reopen our limited face-to-face classes. Also, reduce contact and duration of infection. So again, this JMC is very helpful, and this will assure all parents that if we open or if we are given certificate from CHED or DOH that we are approved, okay, and we receive recognition that we can operate already our limited face-to-face classes, this is assured of you that we strictly adhere with the different guidelines stipulated in this memorandum circular. Right, so these are the roles and responsibilities of students come May 2022 if we already open our limited face-to-face classes next year. So of course, they have to strictly adhere to the health and safety protocols of the respective HEIs. Yes, we have our health and safety protocols are of course patterned with this circular memo. But since this circular memo are only the minimum health standards, if you can actually see the entire memorandum circular, and it says there that we should be 1.5 meter away from your seatmate, we went beyond that. So again, this is a minimum standard, and we strictly, and I can actually say that we are strictly adhering to these protocols set by the Commission. So one of the responsibilities, of course, of our students is to be transparent in the declaration of conditions. Okay, so this is one of the responsibilities of students that we wanted to reinforce, right, that we have to be responsible enough to declare whatever health conditions we are in, or even the different members of those of the household they are in, they have to declare it, and they have to have transparency on the health conditions in the household. Okay, so again, these are the two most important roles and responsibilities of students come May 2022 during their limited face-to-face classes. Right? So as a requirement, so this is just a heads up, since we are still May 2022 is still a year after this date, no? But we wish to inform you that since our students or our children are still at the minority age, okay, they are still minors, right? So you have to prepare. Of course, you have to be a member, or you have to have an active membership, okay, from PhilHealth. So you have to ensure that you parents are members or active members of PhilHealth, because prior to the limited or the conduct or reopening or the acceptance of your children to our limited face-to-face classes, we would require this document from them. Okay, so you have to be an active member. For those parents who are not active members or who are not members of PhilHealth, please submit your membership already to PhilHealth and have before May 22 or before our proposal for limited face-to-face classes will start for level 2. Okay, so question, what if we aren't a member of PhilHealth but we have HMO or we have medical insurance from an HMO company, be it MaxiCare, Medicard, IntelliCare, etc. Okay, so it is also provided in this JMC that if we do not have, or we are not an active member of, or if we do not have a PhilHealth medical insurance, we can submit, okay, this medical insurance contract from your HMO, and it has to be stipulated, or it has to be in the contract that that the contract from this HMO company includes COVID-19 cases. So ulitin ko lang kailangan po na pag hindi PhilHealth po yung inyong insurance, kasi meron po kayong sariling medical insurance, kailangan po nakastipulate, nakasulat po sa kontrata, nakasama po ang ating COVID-19 cases. Otherwise, okay, hindi po natin marireach yung guidelines or requirements na sinet po sa atin ng memorandum circular na ito. Okay? So, yep. And students must have a training or must complete a training on biohazard risk and safety, including the donning and doffing of PPEs. Okay, so this is required of your children. Okay, so this is a training on how, because this limited face-to-face classes will actually entail them to be to handle biohazards, like the samples coming from real patients during their actual laboratory procedure. So a training and a certificate of completion of training on biohazard and the proper donning and the doffing of their PPEs must be in place. So I think the school, since we are still in the consultative meeting, I am hoping that the school will provide this kind of training to our students, and the certificate of completion on the basic training on IPCs. Okay, since we are, again, this is a limited face-to-face laboratory class come May 2022. So the students are expected to complete a training on IPC or the infection prevention and control. Okay, so again, this is a program required of the students prior to their limited face-to-face classes and the health declaration. Okay, so student interns shall provide PPE and personal hygiene kits. So this is applicable, of course, to our level 3 students. But if this JMC, okay, but if this JMC number 2021-001 will not have any amendments, modifications, okay, this requirement will also hold true to your student. To your children. Okay? So, for example, May 22 na po, 2022 na po, wala pa pong amendments. Ito pa rin po yung ating susundin. So, kung ano po yung program po na naibigay namin sa level 4 students natin or incoming level 4 students natin ngayong taon, yun din po, that will be the same internship program that we are gonna use to your children. Okay? Because, take note that your children are or will be enrolling the internship program for the next academic year. Okay, so next year, come 2022, your children will already be enrolling our internship program. So whatever whatever drafted guidelines we had, okay, we have now for our interns for 2021-2022. If no amendments for this JMC 2021-001, your children will share the same internship program as this 2021-2022 batch or guidelines has. Okay? So, okay. So unless otherwise you have question with the brief description or summary or orientation of our joint memorandum circular number 2020-001 para po may masagot ko po kung may tanong po tayo dyan or meron tayong kalituhan or confusion.
Hello, dear parents. So if you have clarifications
Regarding
or
this,
questions regarding the topic that was presented by Ms. Yansby, now is the right time to ask for clarifications po. So you can drop your questions inside the chat box or you can unmute yourself and ask the question directly po.
for any questions related to the JMC or the circular memo or any questions that on the slides that were presented to you by Sir Brian a while ago about the proposed schedule, you may ask now so I can shed light on some confusion or questions you have now in your mind. Or it is but early for us to ask questions. Actually, this is for a consultative meeting. So we wanted really to hear your thoughts regarding this circular memo and regarding the proposal that we showed you a while ago. And any reactions, be it violent or not, we wish to hear from you parents. We wish to hear from you dear parents so that we can, while we are still in the process of drafting our guidelines and drafting our policies on the gradual reopening of our limited face-to-face classes, we can raise your concerns to the administration so that we can include that in our guidelines. Because I know you parents, our stakeholders are one of the most important stakeholders that we have, and we really wanted to hear from you guys po sana. If may questions po, or do we still have apprehensions, or agam-agam po parang ayaw pa po nating palabasin yung mga anak natin, we wish to hear from you sana kung if meron po kayong thoughts or naiisip po na mas mapapaganda po natin yung ating program? Or balikan ko po. Sige, baka dito po tayo baka dito na lang po tayo may tanong. Okay, again, the title here po is template for the proposed subject. So these are still in nasa proposal stage pa po yung schedule. Okay? So kung napapansin niyo po, these are the subjects that are or that is or is included in the specialized laboratories that is approved of us to conduct a limited face-to-face class. So for your children, we have your MLS 131, the one they enrolled last summer, which is HIS, and it requires of them a 6-hour of skills laboratory on the actual, actual conduct or the actual conduct of the information system that they will be using in the laboratory or in their healthcare or in their workplace. Okay, soon when they become RMTs. For first semester, they missed out or they are required to complete the 12 hours of Biochem 102. Okay, so if you notice here, there's Biochem 102 and this is the one concerning your children. So they had Biochem 102 last semester. Okay, they had Biochem 102 and they are required to complete this 12 hours of skills lab. Okay, so for this semester, as made mentioned by Sir Brian, they are required for a 24-hour, 12-hour for parasitology and another 12-hour for bacteriology for a face-to-face laboratory class with our instructor. If we are to abide with the guidelines that we set for this academic year, this is done or performed on a one-on-one basis. Okay, so this is performed on a one-on-one basis, meaning only one student and one instructor is allowed per laboratory class. Okay, so this 24 hours is expected to be delivered on a one-on-one basis. Okay, for this summer, your children will, your children has or are to enroll 3 subjects and only two subjects among the 3 has this laboratory component. So these 2 subjects which requires them of laboratory hours, they are 2. Okay, so they are to complete the 18 hours required of them during face-to-face. So I've heard Sir Brian mention about having it as a mentoring program. Okay, yes, we coined it or we termed it as a mentoring program because if you notice, we already had this. We already have a flexible or alternative learning method via virtual, conference, synchronous, asynchronous classes with them. So technically, all the learning outcomes that can be delivered via virtual mode are already delivered or ngayon kung these are currently being delivered to your children. So the only learning, will be limited, but because this guideline says that it's a limited face-to-face classes, we limited our specialized laboratory procedures to the core competencies that is needed of the subject. So in this case, we will be focusing during their limited face-to-face classes. We will be focusing on the core competency that is required of them. So if their subject would require them to perform a procedure like fecalysis, for instance, in parasitology, then therefore the 12-hour that is required of them to attend to the limited face-to-face class will cover that core competency. Because the rest of the competencies, the rest of the competencies that can be delivered via online are already delivered. Okay, so if you also notice that there's a duration period to where or to wait on to what time they are to conduct their skills laboratory. In our proposal here, we have here May 23 to June 3, 2022. So from this day, from this period, okay, your children are expected to attend or to report to class on their respected schedules. Okay, so in this case, from May 23 to June 3, 2022, the schedules are being spread out because we are to conduct this on a one-on-one basis. Okay, so if we are to total it, the number of hours required of them here is 6, 18, 6, 18, plus 24. 36, 64. That's about 64 hours. No, that's about 64 hours, or in a 12 for a 12-day period, for a 12-hour per day, 64 divided by 12. That's about 5 to 6 days. Okay, that's 1 week. We are requiring them. They are to be scheduled for the entire week. No, that's one-on-one. So they are being spread out to one instructor. So that's 6 days of limited face-to-face laboratory class from May 23 to June 3, 2022. Okay? So I also placed here some notes which says that for summer AY 2021-2022, regular face-to-face class shall resume. Okay? Kung the SHED, okay, if the SHED will release guidelines po na pertaining or leading to this proposal. Again po, pag wala pong i-release na guidelines or amendments po ang ating commission, hindi po kami pwedeng mag-modify ng aming curriculum. So whatever is placed in that curriculum, in that circular memo, okay, yun lang po kami sumusunod. Okay, so kung pag sinabi po nila na full operation na po ang lahat ng HEIs, then only then lang po kami makakapag-decide on na papapagin na po na lahat.
Kaya lang po sa oras po balik naman yung class.
May tanong po ba tayo doon sa schedule or proposed schedule? Are you amenable to that? Or you have any violent reactions on that? Na Dan?
Okay, good morning po ulit parents, no? So, in this juncture of time, we are asking for your questions or if you have suggestions regarding yung mga na-place natin na schedules, no? Pwede na po nating itanong. So, pakilagay lang po sa chat box. Students, please guide your parents, no, kung the ways of the Zoom conference kasi baka yung iba hindi familiar. No? So, guide na lang sila. Okay, questions po?
Okay po, meron po akong na-receive na private message. No? Thank you for this po. Okay. This is a very good question. Good morning, ma'am. Kapag po ba magkakandak ng face-to-face sa susunod ang mga students, posible po bang ipaswab test sila? So if we are to base no, if we are to base po these guidelines and we are to conduct immediately without any amendments to the circular memo, yes po, they are required an RT-PCR test result. So before they are scheduled for a limited face-to-face classes, or before they are to start or to be deployed for internship, they are required to submit that. That is part of their requirements. That form part of their requirements to submit a negative RT-PCR test results. So prior or before they are launched, before they are sent to this limited face-to-face classes and internship or hospital duties, yes po. If we are to abide with this shared circular memo. May follow-up question po doon sa nagtanong po sa akin privately. Or nasagot ko po ba ng tama yung inyo pong tanong?
Additional questions pa po, parents, guardian.
Okay. So, parang baka po nahiya pa po kayong magtanong or ano. Let me just share you this. Kasi we had a consultative meeting also with your children yesterday. So, they raised concerns regarding, or they raised a request regarding their wishes that we conduct limited face-to-face class na. So parang gusto nila po yung ating level 2 na sana po masali sila sa ating limited face-to-face class. Okay? So kayo din po ba, parents, dear parents, are you sharing the same sentiments po ba with your children? We just wish to hear from you kasi minsan po iba yung belief or perception po ng students sa parents. So minsan opposing po yan. And that's why we have this consultative meeting so that we can also hear from you, dear parents. I think Mrs. Nakilan is raising her hand. Do you have concerns, ma'am? If you wish to, I think we have Miss Nakilan here, Sir Dan. Is she muted?
Yes, Mrs. Nakilan, naka-unmute na po kayo. Pwede na po tayo magsalita. No, if you have concern, suggestion.
Hello po, sir. Hello.
Yes, Miss Nakilan, good morning.
Ay, good afternoon po.
Yeah.
Pwede po ma'am na hingi kami ng pilot copy ng CDOH itong circular, hindi kasi namin halos maintindihan kung ano ang nilalaman nitong DOH circular number na to.
All right. So, yes, sir. We are gonna give you this CDOH circular memo, but the gist of the circular memo is actually the guidelines for all colleges and universities. This contains all the necessary retrofitting guidelines or that is required sa lahat ng HEI, sa lahat po ng colleges that is offering medtech, yung 6 programs po natin, yung priority programs, nakalagay po doon lahat yon. And of course, nakalagay din po doon, ay hindi lang po ako nag-dwell on. Actually, pwede ko naman pong i-discuss yung lahat po ng content noon. Kaya lang, hindi ko po muna ginawa sa inyo kasi 2022 pa naman po yung ating limited face-to-face classes. Kaya po, well, sa level 3, inisa-isa ko po talaga sa kanila. And with your children po kahapon, talagang dinisect ko rin po yun kahapon, inisa-isa namin yun. But again po, the gist of this circular memo is how the school will respond or how the school will operate this limited face-to-face classes. So again, we are orienting you with this CHED DOH JMC for you to be assured that whenever we reopen our classes to limited face-to-face classes, rest assured that the HEIs adhered or strictly adhered with the protocol set by the DOH and the guidelines given by this memorandum circular. So that is actually what this consultative meeting is for. Okay, so this is that circular will serve as a guide for all HEIs, that whenever you send your children to school, okay, to attend this kind of limited face-to-face classes, rest assured, yes, that we retrofitted our facilities. Okay, we retrofitted our facilities. We are equipped with all the guidelines that is set by this circular memo. Okay, because if we fail in one of the stipulations stated in this circular memo, then we will not be given recognition by CHED, and we will be in no way opening our face-to-face classes without recognition or permit coming from CHED. So this is what the circular memo is about, Mr. Nakilan, and for the rest of the parents who are in this meeting. Yes, but we would gladly give you the entire 80-page circular memo for your guidance. So we would love sending you this, Mr. Nakilan, and the rest of the level 2 parents.
Hoy,
Thank you so much,
every
Mr.
Sunday,
Nakilan.
ikaw na mahugas ng plato.
Thank you rin po, ma'am. Thank you.
Every Sunday na lang gani.
Okay.
Pag binugo
So, do
dira.
we have additional requests or questions regarding
Are ka,
yung CHED
Turpog
memorandum?
servisyo mo,
And I know siguro, yung sinabi ni Mr. Nakilan, hindi kasi niya siguro wala masyado siyang matanong. So, if in case po, ma-email na po namin, ma-send na po namin sa mga anak ninyo, and merong doon, may makita kayo doon, may ma-highlight kayo na gusto itanong sa akin, please do so po. Pakidiretso lang po sa message, paki-message lang po sa akin, or pwede pong ibigay po namin yung ating
Kumukha doon ako.
department email para ma-send nyo po sa akin yung tanong nyo or confusion ninyo doon. Masasagot ko po yun kasi well-oriented po ako with the circular memo. So for any questions, so kung ngayon po ay medyo parang ang hirap magtanong kasi 2022 pa naman po. Tapos hindi pa naman masyado affecting our children. And hindi pa rin natin nakikita yung laman, the entirety of this circular memo. So kung sakali po na mabasa nyo na po and merong parang doon hindi nyo talaga maintindihan, parang in contradiction po yun doon sa ibang stipulations, you may ask me po directly via email or via messaging, no? All types of messaging would actually do, no? Para clarify ko po or maka-explain po ako sa inyo kung okay lang po sa inyo yun. Thank you po, Mr. Nakilan.
Mayaman masyado yun sa suko ba yung nagtatrabaho yung asawa niyang bana?
Okay, some other questions?
Tapos medtech pa
Okay.
din siya.
Hindi po ba, meron na dito, hindi po ba mahirapan ang mga student niyan next year, ma'am? Kasi mag-third year na po sila, tsaka major po naman ang board subject, yung mga asikasuhin nila. Tsaka magbabak sila ng lab subjects nila. Okay po. So if you are to, sasagutin ko po ito. So if you are to see po, no, if you are to go back, okay? If you are to go back to our schedule come May 23 to June 11, 2022, balikan ko lang. Ito pong na-miss out po nila dito is HIS. The HIS would actually entail them lang a computer simulation or computer-based simulation. So kung baga, practical po yun, actual demonstration lang po nila. And they learn this no? This MLS 131, their Biochem 102, 221 and 222, lahat po ito kinakandak po natin ngayon virtually. So the only lacking po is yung actual hands-on exposure po nila. But the rest of the learning competencies that can be served while we are in flexible learning mode are already being
Libre na
given
daw ang
to our
laboratory.
children. Okay? So actual po lang yung gagawin nila. And it is also stipulated in that JMC, okay, that we are to prioritize the learning competency lang po ng subject na yun. So everyone is doing their part po na para ma-teach pa rin yung learning competencies na required sa subject na yon. So for example po, sabi ko nga po, kaya if kung napapansin niyo po, no, yung mga anak po natin, pag major subject, araw-araw talaga, wala silang asynchronous class. Puro po synchronous. The reason or the rationale behind it po is kasi binibigay na po lahat yung lahat ng learning competency sa kanila virtually. Kaya yung ating pong mga minor subjects, sila lang po yung may mga asynchronous days or asynchronous hours. So, ang question po is hindi ba sila mahihirapan? Okay, so balik po tayo sa schedule. Ang schedule po nila is May 23 to June 11, 2022. Okay? So prior their third year, tapos na po nila yung mga subjects or exposures nila. So kung mahirapan po ang tanong, I don't think po na mahirapan sila kasi actual laboratory procedure po yung gagawin nila. For example, ayan po nung MLS 131, ipi-perform lang po nila yung gamit yung ating BISPAX. Yung ginagamit po natin sa Hospital Laboratory Information System, i-operate po nila yon. So it's a learning competency and they will learn that, no? Lagi, pag nasa internship nila, yan po araw-araw yung ginagawa nila. Sa BACD naman po and sa parasitology, ang learning competency po na ni-require sa amin ng PASMET and the CHET po is kailangan marunong silang mag-fecalysis, maka-identify sila microscopically. And ito po sa 12 hours na binigay namin na ito po yung ma-achieve nila. For bacteriology naman, they will perform GS, CS, and EFP. So this is gram stain, culture, and sensitivity. Ito po yung core ng subject na ito. Okay, so ito po ang learning competency or the core learning competency of that subject. And ibibigay po namin yan through face-to-face mode. Okay, so meron pa po sana akong gustong i-add. Okay, the commission or this JMC actually did not state that we are compelled or we are required to conduct face-to-face laboratory classes. Okay, if you are to compare it with the rest of the medtech schools in the Philippines, okay, in the Philippines, some aren't offering these face-to-face classes because the CHED, okay, the CHED did not prescribe us to offer this. But just the MSFI and the program, okay, decided or opted to offer this on a face-to-face learning mode because of that competency that we wish our students and your children to show us or to display us as future registered medical technologies. Again, they are not, in fact, it is stated in this JMC, if possible, we should be delivering it in a flexible mode. Okay? Yung internship po, yun, kailangan may hospital talaga. Bawal ang full virtual doon. But if we can, actually the challenge is if we can deliver it virtually, all the laboratory procedures be delivered virtually, but it is impossible for us medtechs, no, to do fecalysis at home. Okay, fecalysis or the stool analysis because we do not have microscopes at home, we do not have machines at home, and we do not have specimens at home. So it is in no way possible that these competencies are reached virtually po. That our
From
children
class food na
mismo po,
teacher
sila
dahil
mismo ang gagawa nun
tapos iPhone
with the
Pro
guidance,
Max
of
ang
course,
ano.
of their clinical instructors. Baka po may follow-up ka pa po, ma'am, sa question po na yun. Kasi maganda po yung inyong mga tanong.
Lord.
Yes po, ma'am. Maraming salamat po sa mga tanong niyo, ma'am. Sana po, mas marami pa kayong
Ilong lang
tanong.
po.
Kailang mga burger, no?
Anak man na dito sa Pilipinas ang ang pati kay.
Hello, dear parents. Again,
Kauna ka
encouraging
pinapay.
po parents. Tanong naman tayo.
Dila sa Ilakay.
Kasi
Ano
baka
kayo?
yung ibang parents,
Overload
you shared
ng
the same
pati.
query.
Diri sa
Para at least
Pilipinas kaon kag tinapay.
Kaya po tayo, ganda kayo na sa galahas ba? Umiagi ko, halos anak niyo, sa isang pagkakarang ang dagpo niya. Umiagi, daghanan niya, magsingsing, hindi pa nila din.
Again po, ma'am, sir, no? Hindi ko po kasi kayo nakikita. So, hindi ko po alam kung mga mommies po or daddies po yung kausap ko ng mga parents. So, can I request show up virtual hands po for those parents who wish to send their, or are more than willing to send their children to this limited face-to-face class po, provided we strictly adhere with the guidelines set by the Commission and the Department of Health. Can we have a show of virtual hands po, sana? Or thumbs up po?
Sige na pa.
Because our level 2 students are the most vocal batches who wish to ask or request a limited face-to-face class po sana daw sa kanila araw-araw. So as much as we wanted to conduct all classes in a face-to-face mode, but we have this commission that rules all HTI. So whatever the commission tells us or whatever the commission sets for us, we strictly adhere all guidelines
wala man dako na
drafted for all HEIs, for all operations of higher education institutions, for all colleges and universities. So as much as we wanted to conduct, kami rin po, gustong-gusto rin po namin ng face-to-face. No? Mas madali po sa amin mag face-to-face, and we can, sa lahat ng aspects, actually, mas madali po sa amin ang face-to-face classes. And we are so used to face-to-face classes. But with this flexible learning, bago din po sa amin. So lahat din po kami nag-prepare doubly. Double preparation po yan, triple preparation pa for some. Kasi marami pong considerations and maraming factors po involved in this new learning mode or this new modality po na flexible learning.
Allowance para man kay ipon.
Lalong-lalo na po sa amin, na we are laboratorians. We work in the laboratory. So, dapat po, most of the time, nasa laboratory kami performing different procedures. But with this flexible learning phase, so we are to modify also our curriculum. As
ma-pressure na si Chelsea pag face-to-face.
we modified our curriculum kaya po ng ibang mga colleges and universities all over Philippines po.
Ipa-recite siya na.
Pabagtan.
Ma-pressure na niya siya. Ipa-recite siya dito.
Okay, so as I check, wala naman po tayong tanong na nasa chat box.
Siyempre si Mami nag-rant-rant ba na sa mga module.
Okay, so any pahabol pa po parents before tayo end?
Rest assured po siguro the moment that the guidelines are drafted for the new limited face-to-face class, and if it applies to your children, we are gonna convene again for another assembly, orienting you with the set guidelines or the established guidelines by the institution.
Okay. Yes. Ma'am, yes, may pahabol na question. Sa face-to-face po ba, may possibility po na tumaas ang tuition?
Yung sa pa mo
Face to
concern
face. Next,
pag-question.
kung ano po yung sa face-to-face po kasi,
Ilang ka days
ano po ang class, ano pong tanong niya? Kasi baka iba po ang maisagot po. Meron, are you asking po ba na pag pinapasok na po ba sila sa limited face-to-face class, may babayaran pa po ba kayong dagdag? Kasi nagbayad na po kayo ngayon? Kung ganun po yung tanong nyo, ma'am or sir, ano po siya wala na po. Kasi nagsettle na po kayo with your lab fees. And nung time po na nag-enroll tayo, nung summer, first sem, second sem, we already settled po our lab fees.
Yes.
So yung pag nag-schedule po tayo, even if it's 2022 pa po yun, wala na pong extra charges dun sa face-to-face class po natin. Kung yun po ang tanong ninyo. Kung ang tanong nyo po ba, kung ang tanong nyo naman is, mas mataas ba pag face-to-face classes? I think wala pong, ang difference lang po, kung ano po yung usual na SOA po for face-to-face classes, ganun po ang lalabas po sa statement ninyo. May modifications lang po ngayon kasi nag-reduce po ng minimal amount po ang ating finance on the lab fees and other fees na deemed necessary for reduction.
Pang formal good na ano.
Okay, so nasagot naman daw po yung question. Ipahabol na tanong, ilang days in a week po ang limited face-to-face po?
So tama yun, no? Ilang days po ba in a week? So I actually totaled the number of hours kanina. So i-recap ko lang po. I estimated the number of face-to-face or the number of hours required of your children to be in school po during the limited face-to-face classes po. 1 week po yun. So 1 week po na 12 hours per day. So meaning po, kung 7:30, that's 7:30 to 7:30 po. So siguro po Monday to Saturday po yun, nakaschedule po yung anak nyo. And the rest of the weeks po na nakaset doon, off na po yun siya. Off duties po niya yun or no classes po. Yun. Kasi ang naset po natin duration doon is I think 1 month to 1.5 months. So 1 week po, nandito po sila. The rest of the months, 3 weeks or 4 weeks yon, nandyan lang po sila sa mga bahay nila. May break po sila. Nagbe-break po sila niyan. Getting ready po, I think, for their first semester. Third year, first semester. Okay, kasi level, ano yan po summer po kasi yan end ng summer or after, end ng summer po yun or some time po na bago mag-level 3. So, we are, of course, forecasting that before they enter level 3, wala na po silang pending po na laboratory exposures for level 1 and level 2. We are forecasting that po. Para by level 3, they are more than equipped po to face level 3 subjects na po kung may face-to-face na, kung babalik na po sa normal by level 3 first semester.
Wala mang way ka ng gagmay na... Unsa pa may?
Okay, additional questions pa po?
Unsa pa may?
Kali pa dahil mo pa.
My favorite. Unsa na?
Ada pa, wala mo. Ay. Bay, check doon sa bako.
Sige, so, dear parents, students, please guide your parents to paki-turn on ng mga cameras. Kasi kukuha tayo ng attendance.
Ganon ba mga ihi pati tayo.
Thank you po, Miss Constantino, Mrs. Constantino. This is Geronimo. Thank you po.
Nagamit na din.
This is Kabaga.
Miss Nakila. Hello, Miss Nakila.
May pakita po din.
Pasensya na pala name, hindi ko po kayo ma-acknowledge. Mrs. Lara, Mrs. Papigwit, Mr. A. Thank you po sa ano. Sana po meron kayong ma-share sa amin na thoughts nyo or mga agam-agam nyo po dyan. Okay ba yun? Or hindi ba? Because kung hindi naman po, it is but normal, no, na hindi talagang minsan nakakatakot. Actually, yung parents po kanina ng level 3, yun po yung talagang living in fear and apprehensions ngayon. Kasi May na po, 2021. February po ngayon, April, May. Ilalabas na po nila yung mga anak nila. Kaya medyo natagalan po kami, pasensya na po. Kaya we kept you waiting po. Kasi sobrang daming concern sila. At least yung tayo po as parents, medyo ano pa tayo, no, makakahinga pa tayo ng maluwag kasi alam natin
Yung
next year
kasama
pa
ko
yun.
sa
Baka, no, with the
yung pag
vaccine
first
development
com,
or yung vaccine
yung mama
natin
ni
na
Jeremy.
mabigyan ng lahat, medyo confident na tayong ilabas yung ating mga anak. Kasi ako, I am a parent myself, alam ko din, no? Kasi May 2021, ilalabas ko rin yung mga anak ko para magdadalawang isip po ako. Okay? And with the increasing, of course, number of cases. But the level 3 kasi ngayon, the level 3 parents, kailangan po talaga nilang mag-duty na sa hospital. Otherwise, they will not be conferred the PSMT degree by the commission. So yun po, kaya medyo natagalan po kaming pumasok sa inyo because of so many
Tapos si
concerns
babae,
po na
Ganyan,
i-raise po
ibang
nila.
boses, nagkabaliktad. Yung sa babae,
Kung kayo po ba, ma'am, May 2021, mag-limited face-to-face classes, will you support your children po ba, ma'am? Tanong lang. Tanong lang. No! Oh, laki ng no ni Mrs. Constantino. Yes, ako rin, ma'am. Kahit ako, no, hindi ko kaya din, no? Kung iisipin lang, parang hindi ko kaya. Okay, but our level 3 students, the incoming interns, no, ano ko naman sa mga parents na remember this, yung mga anak nila po ay gagraduate na next year. And they are gonna work po in the hospital. So, it's about time that they expose their children na sa hospital. Yun po. Otherwise, no, hindi sila makakapag-board exam, hindi sila makakapagtrabaho sa hospital, or hindi sila makakapag-proceed sa medicine. Yun po. But, again, no, it's also stated in the circular that we are in no way, no, forcing all parents po or the parents to send their children to this limited face-to-face class. Okay, nakalagay naman po yun doon. Hindi po natin pipilitin. And it's also stipulated in that memorandum circular that if you do not if you are still not ready to send your children to this limited face-to-face class, no, we will provide a flexible learning mode for them. And whenever no, they reach yung okay na sila, medyo kampante na kayo lahat, and if you wish to avail of this face-to-face laboratory classes po, we will accept po your children with no prejudice po to admission. So it is stipulated naman po sa JMC. So hindi po kasi iba po kasi ang ating beliefs po, no? Iba-iba rin po ang ating mga mga thoughts po regarding this pandemic. So kung hindi pa po ready, hindi po pipilitin. And rest assured, your children are protected with this circular memo na kung hindi pa ready, pwede lang bumalik anytime na ready na. Yun po ang kagandahan po ng ating circular memo. Kasi in all schools and universities po kasi, meron tinatawag po na maximum residency. So pag for example, first year ka, second year, for example, ganun second year yung mga anak ko. And nag-stop po sila. Example na huminto po sila. Pag huminto sila, like for example, 5 years na hinto sila because of some reason, huminto po sila. Ngayon, under 6th year, na nakahinto sila, babalik sila sa school, sabihin nila, mama, magta-third year na ako. So, meron tayong may mga maximum residency clause or rules po kasi iba't ibang school. So, pag ganun po, sa ibang school, sasabihin nila na, ay, hindi na, bumalik ka first year. Or, for example, 10 years after, ma'am, tapusin ko, second year ako huminto. Third year, balik ako. Yung ibang schools po have policies po na hindi na pwede. Pag lumagpas ka sa maximum residency, balik ka first year. Kasi imposible nang maalala mo yung lessons ng level 1, level 2 mo 10 years ago. But because of this JMC, yung ating leave of absence na stipulations po doon, nakalagay doon na pwede lang silang bumalik anytime they are ready without prejudice to admission. So hindi po sila pwedeng tanggihan. Okay? Hindi po sila pwedeng tanggihan ng school. Okay? So yun po ang isang kagandahan po ng circular memo na yan. And for you parents, no, I am a parent myself, protected po talaga yung bata, no? And rest assured that these guidelines po are given to all schools po na dapat sumunod sila dun sa set guidelines. So that is again an assurance for you parents that whenever we open our limited face-to-face classes, rest assured, no, we are strictly adhering to the health and safety protocols set by the Commission and the Department of Health. Yun po actually yung maganda rin po dun sa ating circular memo. And again mo, nakastipulate doon ng level 1 and level 2, hindi pa po pwede. No, they are in no way allowed or authorized to attend the limited face-to-face class. Okay, that's why we are offering lang muna yung limited face-to-face, the gradual reopening of this limited face-to-face class for level 3 and level 4. Yun po ang mga advantages po ng JMC. Actually, kung advantages, if we are to weigh the advantages and the disadvantages, marami po advantages po talaga yung JMC na yon sa students and parents po. Baka po, meron pa kayong tanong, dear parents? Again, I'm still open no dun sa offer ko na I'm gonna send the entire circular memo, and for any questions that you wish to ask regarding the stipulations in the memo, you may raise po to me privately on messenger services po, on any messenger services or any email or electronic mails po.
Pahapon na questions for parents. So again, this would take effect 2022 pa po. No, so siguro yung iba medyo may mga time pa para mag-isip na mas mahaba. No, so you have all the time to really think about it. Tama ba, parents?
We are just hoping that they will not be sending in anytime soon any amendments or modification. Baka ngayon, ito ang sasabihin ng ating CHED and DOH. In 6 months time, balik na sa normal. No? Minsan, nagugulat tayo sa mga pabago-bago. I know you heard the news na pwede nang manood ng sine. Tama ba yun? Narinig natin it's all over the media, no? Parang nakakagulat ng mga pagbabago. So I hope they won't have that drastic change, no, with their policies po with regards to conduct of classes po natin.
But nevertheless, if there are amendments, no, we would be having another consultative meeting.
Yeah, we will convene again po whenever that JMC is amended, magkikita po ulit sana tayo. And I hope po maka-attend pa rin po kayo sa lahat ng assembly po meetings na pag pinapatawag po namin kayo for any orientation meeting kayo po ngayon, sana po maka-attend pa rin po kayo para marinig niyo po yung mga bago po na amendments ng CHED po and ng institution and ng school po.
Okay, additional, pahabol na talaga na question po. Ayan, so I think if we don't have any more questions, then we would not want to keep you in this conference any longer kasi alam din namin na some of you might be or some might have other errands to attend. No, but nevertheless, again, if you have questions regarding the circular memo released by CHED, you could always email Miss Yasmin. So with that, in behalf of all the medical technology faculty, especially Ms. Yasmin Odalig, the department head, we would want to thank you all for gracing today's forum. I hope to medyo enlightened na po tayo na content, so kung ano yung magiging itsura ng ating future with regards to skills laboratory or further exposure like face-to-face
Sila magsayaw.
next year,
Pero pag ibang
2020.
magsayaw.
Okay, so with that, we would like to thank again all the parents, all the guardians, no, and the students who accompany their parents. Maraming salamat po for attending
Maraming
today's
salamat
forum, no, or meeting. Yun lang.